you let Candace know. I'm gonna call the meeting for the city of Vernon, Monday, July 17th, 2023 to order. Candace, please.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We ask that you guide the council to make the best decisions for our community and our town. We ask that you keep each and every one of us safe and those out in our community safe. And we ask these in all things in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have a motion to approve consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Discussion, all in favor? Motion carried. Mayor's report.
Mr. Gary couldn't be here. He asked that I go over a report he emailed. He wants these work orders done. He wants the mayor's office to be cleaned with some kind of mold treatment and the blinds also. Fire hydrant repairs or replacement at the library, the elementary school, and 3474 school mill.
You want what now?
Fire hydrants.
Blue Mill's only one.
Okay. Street signs on school mill that are missing or need to be replaced. I'll give you a copy of this, Jason, when I, and debris cleaning on Armstrong and school mill at the top of the hill on the curb, and the bottom has vines growing on the poles. Says he would like for me to attend the Florida League of Mayors on August 3rd in Destin. He wants to know from you, Michelle, if since he was not at any of the meetings on the Burkhardt versus City. Does he need to respond to any of that? Okay. Said to tell y'all that Lee and I are working on the audit findings from 21. He is requesting to be put on tonight's agenda to bid out for haul the pile of waste dirt. He has been contacted by someone who will haul it off super cheap and it needs to go out for bid. He is working on FEMA extensions. He said he will work with me this week. And he and Trey will be meeting with Mr. Harris concerning the Sportsplex parking in the next few weeks.
Okay, as far as the dirt goes, I thought that was taken care of for free as soon as the road got repaired. Jason? The pile of dirt that the mayor is speaking of,
Yeah.
that's gonna be moved for free once the road's fixed, right?
Right.
So why do we need to put
We
that?
got it, we got it fixed, but we wanted to make sure, we got a culvert patch, but we wanted to make sure when it rained that it wouldn't wash back out again. And so far it's held up. So I just gotta get with the county now.
That's what I was
Yeah.
just confirming that it's
Yeah.
already agreed upon that the county's gonna move it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already got permission from,
They just didn't want to do it
to
until
where we move it.
the pipe
So
got
I don't
fixed.
see any reason to put that out for bid unless another council member feels that way.
That would be y'all's discretion.
Okay.
If we're gonna get it moved free, then why?
Is that all they had, Candace?
Candace, could I have a copy of that?
I will, yes ma'am, I'll make. Well, actually, you can just have that one and I'll print another one.
I didn't hear, couldn't hear y'all today.
Attorney.
I just got it this afternoon. I apologize. I didn't think about making everybody a copy.
So I just had an update on the question about issuing business licenses for operation on residential parcels. I pulled your code that was incorporated by the county into their future land use map, and there doesn't appear to be any authority to operate. There's no home-based business exception that I can find. So the parcel is purely residential. And until you all adopt an ordinance that says otherwise, I don't think you have the authority to issue a business license for residential property.
If it's residential, then you mean the county has to be the one that said it's not?
So the owners could apply for a special exception.
Through the county?
Through the county to have the land use designated something else, either neighborhood commercial or recreational or some other designation if that's what they want to do there. I just couldn't find any authority for y'all to issue a business license that wouldn't be, or that would be in contrast to, what's called the comprehensive plan that you adopted in your land use regulations. So there's a way to do it, but the way isn't for y'all to just issue the business license. They need to get the land use change handled first
And that would be the resident's responsibility.
through the county.
Is that all you have? Thank you. Clerk's report.
I have something that needs to be signed. I got it last week, since Mr. Gary is not available. And it would, I think, according to Michelle, y'all would need to say that we need you to sign it so I can get it back to them. But y'all would have, the council would have to say that Mr. Gary's not available to do it tonight.
And then just authorize the
Well, we
mayor
had
pro tem.
authorized you to do some signing before.
Well, before I was mayor pro tem, and that's not the case this time. So y'all would need to, I guess you saying y'all would need to approve it. Do they have to vote on it or just?
Yeah.
And, what it is it's just a letter, from us in support of the sheriff's department, a grant for them for narcotics, and it's something that each municipality does, and we do it every year. But, it is something supposed to be signed by the mayor.
Yeah, the date.
I'll add it to number 6.
Well, they sent it on
So since that is, probably time sensitive, and it's important for the sheriff to be able to get access to that funding, I would recommend that you go ahead and sign it in that capacity. Y'all just have to do kind of a consensus, and then you'll approve it retroactive at your next meeting.
Well, this is a regular council meeting, so I can add it to the
Is it a
agenda.
council
tonight.
meeting?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
council meeting.
Ignore me then, I'm lost track of my dates. I thought it was my job. Never mind.
That's number 6, okay.
Okay, Clerk's report.
And then we have the Pyro Show's contract that they sent over, that y'all would need, I didn't get that till today, so if you wanna add that onto the agenda.
Same question.
I just got it this afternoon.
Number 7, pyro shows. Do you have anything else, Candace?
I reached out to a couple more places about the city limit signs, and I'm waiting to hear back. So just dragging on that kind of stuff, but nothing major, I hope.
Public Works report.
I don't really have anything. The only thing, I got a question for y'all, maybe the lawyer. Once we get permission to do these ditches, which I've already got permission, what is our easement on these ditches? I have nothing that says,
The temporary easements are supposed to be 180 days.
like the ditch, back here, my Paul's house, and the ditch over here, they're real clean. I don't know how far I have on each side of the ditch. I don't have nothing that says, no paperwork, no prints.
I think it's just the
I
top
thought
of the
it was
ditch.
always 10 foot, is what I was always told from the middle.
Do y'all keep right-of-way maps?
I don't have one. Everything I have doesn't show a easement for a ditch.
And if you're going across public property, you're gonna have to get a letter
Yeah.
signed by,
Yeah.
which that used to be the case all the time.
Kansas's family owns other properties.
They just sign a waiver,
Yeah. I think,
a waiver for you to be able to come on the property to clean the ditch.
okay.
I think we do those as temporary construction easements.
Yeah.
I usually,
I think, I have a paper, that I found, but it's an old, it's from like the 80s. Like everybody that had a piece of property, it's a stack of I don't know if it's still good, maybe I can get her to look at it, and she can tell me if it's good enough for him to sign.
So, like, one property is flooding, Miss Diane Minor's house. So, that property, if that ditch isn't cleaned out, it's gonna continue to flood her property.
Well, and not only that, but I'm seeing through town with all the rain that we've had,
Mhm.
like
The plant flooded.
the ditch right out here in front next to what used to be Park Rogers' place,
Yeah, that's the other one. we're
which
talking
was
about.
the original reason that the ditches were contracted out to be cleaned years ago, was because that was full the other day. I'm not seeing that full.
That flooded, Yellow Jacket Drive.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they need to be cleaned.
that's the other one we were talking about. And then, now, my second thing is, I got Chad to come because he is animal patrol. So we're having people drop animals off to us. And it's costing the city. Is there-
$57.50 per animal, and
Yeah.
I've already had 20.
So we know we can charge these people, is it possible? I mean, we're losing loads of money.
Because they do a surrender fee, if they take it to the pound, but they won't because they live in the city limits. But anywhere else in the county, they can take it directly to the animal control, and they charge them $57.50.
They tell them they live in Vernon, they send them back.
Now, if it's a stray, we pick it up, we take it, the city pays for it, no big deal. But these are owner surrenders because they won't take them from Vernon. If you live in the city limits, they will. They send them away, send them to us. And already in like the past month, I've had like 20. And I'm not exaggerating, that's over $1,000 just out of the city's pocket. For that, not to mention my travel time, gas, all that, but just that's over $1,000 in just surrendered animals.
So Michelle, would we have to pass an ordinance, or could you draft up something? How would that work?
Since we have an existing ordinance on this, we'd have to amend that ordinance.
The charge a fee?
But what's gonna happen when you start charging us surrender fees, they're just gonna let the dog run loose.
And that brings me to my next question, because I knew that, figured out was gonna be the answer. Next year, I'm probably gonna need just a little bit more budget, or else I'm already over as of right now, and I gotta build kennels, so I'm having to hold animals at my house and at the, because if you don't get them there by 3, they're ours, till the next day at 8, or till Monday morning at 8. And I'm having to hold and take care of these things, and I need kennels. I know you've already said I can build kennels, and, but that's gonna cost something too. You can't just throw a couple of fences up or whatever, throw dogs in there, that's not gonna pass. It's gotta be something that can be taken care of in the duration that we have it.
So we're fixing to start budget meeting workshops. Candace, will you put that on it? On one of the items to discuss?
Yeah, and I did have that listed under things for y'all. Did I put that on there or not? Yeah, I did, never mind. Budget workshop, sorry.
Have y'all ever considered requiring people in the city to have their animal license?
It is,
That license?
we have that rule in the city.
We do, it's an ordinance.
It is not, nobody follows it. It's $10 to register your animal. And we're supposed to give them a little tag. No one has done that since I've been here.
4 years, 2 people have done it.
Raise taxes.
That's it, that's all I got.
Okay.
Thank you. Fire department report.
Shaq had to work tonight, but, he wants the city to go over numbers on that interlocal agreement. It was in the workshop last time, I think, in the packet. But that's something I guess y'all need to look at during the budget workshop.
Okay. Is that all he had?
Yeah, he didn't mention anything else.
Recreation report, Ms. Nikki?
I don't really have anything other than softball's kicked off. If y'all want to come out on Friday nights, feel free to come watch the adults. It's quite fun. We're thinking about doing Boston Butts this Friday. Matt's gonna smoke them. And then football's kicking off. I just went for a PYFA cheer conference thing this past Saturday. We start practices this coming up Monday. However, I'm going to be out of town all week, so if anybody needs anything, Matt will have direct phone. I'm going on a cruise to So he will have the rec stuff going on. We done the cheer fitting today. Gio's doing the football fitting Saturday. So that's all I got. We do, speaking of the budget workshop, we're gonna have to talk about some of the roof stuff at the Sportsplex. The last big rain we got, I walked into the boys' bathroom and it was leaking from one of the light fixtures. Matt did fix the one that was leaking where the hood, the stove hood.
It's really just,
You know what it is?
You
There's
know.
an air conditioner pipe leaking, they must not have fixed it very
Well,
well.
they took the one going that way, they took it and done it into the drain.
floor, yeah.
But is there another one going that way?
I think this one was after rain,
Like,
and I think the one that was we had 2 leaks that we got stopped, but it's the screws. And what's happening with them screws is they're rusting up, they're starting to back out.
all of those too.
And a lot of them has been done, you know, and we could go in there and you could caulk every screw that's not been done yet, you know, or possibly the metal actually looks all right. There's a couple bad pieces of metal, but the metal doesn't look too bad. It really just looks like, you know, if you put new screws in. But most of them screws, you know, they get the gasket on the bottom of that screw has just rotted out, right? And it's just letting water in. That's what was happening on the other 2. I haven't got up there above the boys' bathroom and seen if I could see that. And there was a piece of metal that was replaced. I don't know what that was from. There was a new piece of metal, and it had just dry rotted. That caulking had dry rotted on that, and that was what one of the leaks was. So there's no damage to the metal. It's just hardware that holds it is going bad.
Chad, y'all one time before y'all fixed some leaks out there by replacing
Yeah,
some.
and there's some rock 2x underneath there from the leak that was going on or whatever, and you don't have anything for that screw to grab.
That patch he's talking about is when they remodeled it and moved the
Yeah.
hood and all that. That was whoever done all that. That's where the old hood I think was at, I believe.
it's just something we're
We
gonna
got
have to talk
screws.
about.
You get back up there. I mean, we got more screws we can do.
It's only happening on real bad rains.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of those lately.
Yeah, so when it rains real hard, we're getting little leaks here and there. On just a drizzle rain or normal rain, nothing leaks. And then when we get those downpours, we start finding leaks. I'll get up there again and look on that other side, but I think it's just going to be.
I just brought this to his attention too, because it just happened within like actually last week, whenever it come, and it was dripping, but, so, he'll get up there and look at it, and see what we can do. We might have to get with y'all about some screws or something. Okay. And I did want to just say thank y'all to everybody for helping while I was out with state. Thank y'all guys for helping, so, but that's all.
Thank you. Public participation.
We got one, but
I'll get
2 or 3
signature.
on. Roof out there at the Sportsplex. I don't know what screws they got. Chad, is that the normal little regular screws?
Yeah.
It ain't the new ones. They've come out with new ones.
That's them old with the gray with the washer on them, they're that long.
Yeah, they've come out with some new screws. What people's doing, if you go to Surplus and all that bimetal up there, it's full bars.
Yeah.
And they give you a regular screw where when it pushes down on the metal, you can see the washer, white washer, it'll last 8 to 10 years, then it deteriorates. Then the metal, your house starts leaking or whatever you put it on. But they've come out with some more screws. They're more expensive. When it comes down the cap of it, you won't see the washer at all, protects it. And that's what you have to do, go up there, replace all the screws, just take them out, put a bigger screw in. It's a bigger screw, makes a bigger hole, and put it in. Now, if the wood's rotted.
I talked to Franklin, and he felt like he could do something with, he could get us some screws to replace all
If the
that.
wood's rotted, you're gonna have to slide
Yeah.
the sheet tin back off and redo the one for me. But, I haven't been out there.
That still would be that hard to do, shouldn't it?
Not steep that yet.
I mean, that ain't that steep of the roof either.
I don't think, there's no plywood under there, is there? There ain't no OSB, no. It's just on, straight on two before, isn't it? Yeah. When I got in the attic and looked, you can see the metal from the.
Okay, on public participation, it looks like Elizabeth has marked herself off, so, voucher.
Hi, good evening. Thank you
Hello.
for allowing me to address you. So I was looking at doing a couple subdivisions here, one on this side of the bridge, one past the winery. So I'm about 1.5 miles away from you on the winery side, maybe 2 miles on this side. And I'd like to see if you would be in for me running water up this way and running water and sewer down to that side. Of course, I would be paying for everything. You know, we got tap fees involved, so you make money. So I was gonna put a couple subdivisions in. Washington County.
Is that past the city limit sign, is that what you mean?
Yes. Your water and sewer ends, from what I gather, at the winery down here, and then it ends here at the bridge. And you have put the hangers for the bridge here to run the water. I need to run the water about 2 miles that way. And I would like to run the water and sewer 1.5 miles that way. And I'm gonna put in like, between the two, probably about 400 residential units. Maybe 450.
I know that our neighboring county had water and sewer ran outside their city limits. Is that something that is possible for
Oh,
us?
yeah.
It can be done without extending the city limits?
You normally will charge a surcharge. You charge up to 25% on top of your existing rates for in the city limits for customers who are outside of your city limits. But you're gonna want an engineering.
No, this is just to see if you're interested. I don't want to spend money if you're not interested.
But yeah, it's absolutely.
Well, that's what we're
possible.
discussing.
Yeah.
It would be easier if it goes south,
South is easy,
Yeah.
money wise.
but the other way,
But my
Well, I know
sewer
we've been
line-
approached before, the city's been
About
approached
that.
before
Yeah.
about going across the bridge
Yeah,
and several times and it never went through for whatever reason. They backed out or something, but I would like to see us extend both ways if possible. That's my opinion.
so what now?
I said, I would like to see us be able to
I
extend
know,
both
both
ways.
ways. But we know the south is easy,
Yeah.
that's an easy project compared to going across that border. That creek.
the reason why I say south is we've had people ask, if the sewer ends at Cook and the water line ends at Spoon Hill
Yeah.
in the winery. And we've had, people ask about that
So
way.
you said you would just want water to go across the bridge,
No,
not?
yeah, just water across the bridge. And I was talking with Trey Hawkins, and he was back when they engineered that. So he said, you already have the hangers on the bridge.
Yes, I was aware of that.
Yeah, you're aware of that. So he says, that's not a big deal just for run water. It's not possible to use sewer. But he was telling me that your sewer capacity, unless it's changed, is only 30%. So you have plenty of, your water, he says you got all the water in the world. But that your sewer is only 30% active right now. So, that helps your plant too. If that's all the capacity you have right now. So I'd probably bring in, if I run water and sewer down there, I'll probably bring in about another 300 that way. And maybe 200 this way on water. So I give you about 500. And I'm used to paying tap fees and we put everything in and we pay for it all,
Will
Doesn't
there
cost
have
us
to be
good.
more lift stations?
Sewer wise, that far, yeah.
Which way you go. And we're gonna need one for the subdivision anyway.
And they'll have to have one in there.
Right.
So what you're talking about is all inclusive.
This will have to be
Okay.
way past my,
Main thing is getting somebody out and getting the
this is
business.
down State Highway, this might be somebody, you have to hire a company to do this.
Oh, no, I have to hire a professional underground utility company.
You'll have to get engineer.
And all of that, to do that.
Or you're aware of that too, right? About the engineer and everything?
Yeah, so what I would do is I have to have an engineer draw up everything, and then you have to approve it, and then I pay for it, So win-win for the city. You don't pay for anything, and you're gonna extend your water sewer, and you're gonna have fees, and you're gonna have people pay more money. And I do real nice subdivisions, so you'll be real happy, and they're very affordable, so it's gonna bring people in here.
Who takes care of it?
Yep.
Who takes care of, who maintains and maintenance
This is
all
all
that?
city limits too. I mean, so-
Well, if it's your water and sewer, I mean, I imagine
So
you have.
there you going out there to fix the stuff and
That's my problem right
putting
there.
in
Well, I mean, that would be
complexes,
typically-
putting in houses, what are you putting in?
Well, I'm putting in manufactured homes, double wides.
So that's my problem right there, is that you're gonna talk about 2 miles outside of the city and
Another
I got
500 homes,
two
that's-
guys.
we're gonna need another 2 or 3 guys.
I mean,
I mean, if the money's there,
I'm all for it, money wise, but
We
maintaining
pay
it,
the money, so you're.
the maintaining it.
You figure
is-
tap fees, you figure, what your water and sewer brings you, you can afford other people. You should be able to. But I mean, I can't maintain your lines. I'm gonna maintain what's in my lines and subdivisions. That's not your responsibility.
The city currently has around 407 residences on city water or sewer. Right.
So it almost doubled.
Yes, double that.
So that's what Jason and Chad's concern is then, that it takes them to manage, it's taking all of them to manage it now. Would it take 2 more guys to manage it then?
And you have
I
to-
think that's just a viable thing
Yeah, I
to
understand
consider.
that they would be responsible for our lines that
and
are
maintenance on, you're gonna do your own grass cutting and all that, all we're doing is water and sewer.
Still-
Well, I mean, it's gonna be in your right of ways. So, I mean, you're gonna be responsible. When it goes that way on the
Yeah, it's
easements,
not in our right of ways.
sorry, it's state easements there. It's gonna be
Unless
state
we,
right of
unless
ways.
we, what, eminent domain the property and then.
Well, I don't think that the mowing, I think the mowing's still the state, because these are gonna be Highway 79 easements. They're still
Mowing is the
responsible
state.
for mowing them.
It's outside the city.
My thing, yeah, I'm all for growth, but my thing is, I can't maintain 2 miles that way, 2 miles that way, and what I have now.
Are you gonna be close enough, to potentially annex in?
I would think so. Right now, I mean, I'm getting the zoning through Washington County, and they're all pro-growth in Washington County. I mean, I can't say what they want to do. I mean, I'm gonna need your water and sewer. And hopefully, we'll do some other things too. I don't care for the annex. As long as I get to.
be beneficial to the city to annex.
You should look at more, add more.
Well, and it would also help cover some of the costs with the city maintaining the lines.
You'll double the size of the people paying.
Well, that's true too, but. Michelle, what do you think?
I mean, I have done, work deals where developers have paid, to bring the infrastructure out. Again, we need to work closely with, an engineer. And usually we, go back and look at the rate study, make sure that your fees that you're currently assessing and the anticipated revenues are gonna be, sufficient for you to be able to maintain. I mean, it's a project, but it's doable. I've done it before in other communities.
He's paying.
You can look at it and have her look at it.
Can you get together with us, Michelle, would you be agreeable to get together with him and see what we need to do as far as?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do we have, is municipal under a continuing services contract? Or they just on?
You guys have an engineer that you use up here? Who you use?
So isn't municipal under continuing services?
I believe so.
contract? I would wanna sit down with them.
I think the best would be if I hired the guys that you guys already like. I don't have an engineer for here right now. I have one I can bring in, I can work with them, but that might be a conflict of interest too.
I don't know.
Well, I have mine.
If he wants to reimburse the city's engineering fees, that's,
As long as everything, I mean, it has to make sense for me too. I mean, you guys can't slam me. It has to make sense that the water rates and the sewer rates for my customers aren't raised either.
Well, I think our rates are comparable to anybody.
Well,
else.
if they're normal, then there's no problem.
The highest they could go would be 25% on top of the in-town rates.
Yeah.
That's capped by statute.
But I have my own engineer typically that I bring in, so an engineer, I'm very keen. If you guys have your engineer look at it, I don't mind paying their fees to review it. It'll all be professionally done, I'll have a warning with it.
So, if council's agreeable, I think, Michelle, you can work with him and see what we need to do as far as, I know what's gotta be done, but I'm not sure the process.
Yeah.
That's what I really came here for, I really need to know.
If you can get Candace all your contact info,
Okay.
I'm
You
my
guys can just
assistant,
email
so-
me everything, then we're gonna go ahead and proceed if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Well, we need to.
We need a
get-
proposal from
Yeah,
you.
we need to get with our attorney and set up, I mean, we're talking about annexing, we're talking about running water across the bridge.
Well, I don't know,
through this
yeah,
way.
we're talking about water across the bridge. I would say this, I would prefer that because Washington County is really moving quickly to approve it. Unless you got the
Washington
will to
County
approve it.
Well,
But nothing for us, guys.
they're approving your,
They can't approve
Yes, and how we-
people.
no, what you're having approved is outside the city limits, the land change or whatever.
Right.
So
That's
that has to be done first.
Right.
So we have some time. What we're all telling you here is that we're agreeable so
I know,
far,
that's great.
but we need to get you with our attorney and let's work out the
What you
details
really
and pull
talking
down
about doing.
the engineer and handle the process. But we're all saying that
That's
so far.
excellent. Well, I really appreciate that. You know, I look really forward, I'm looking to do some rather large projects here. I like this area. I think the growth is here, and we're doing affordable housing, nice. Affordable housing, pools, clubhouses, we maintain the lots, you know, all brand new double wides, they own their own home. You know, so we, you know, we're doing 2,500 lots in Bay County, 600 in Okaloosa County, Live Oak, Lake City, got a lot of projects.
What's the name of your company?
Which one's different? We're calling this one actually Mount Vernon 6.
Across the bridge or south?
Well, we're gonna do, across the bridge, it's gonna be a different name. But this one would be Mount Vernon 6 for this one. And then the other one, we're buying, hopefully we'll buy that old oak, ancient oak farm.
Where's that?
Where is it at?
Where is that from the bridge?
About 2 miles.
2 miles?
Are you talking about the big 140 acres on the right?
Yeah.
With the big two-story house?
Yeah.
That's only 2 miles?
I think it's only a couple miles.
Gosh, I'd said it was 5 easy.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Is it 5?
I'm just estimating, but I guess it was 5.
more than two.
The big 2-story where the ostriches used to be.
The 140 acres that's for sale.
Plus,
on the
it's a
right.
springs.
I think it's only 3 miles.
Yeah, but by both.
2 to 3 miles.
trees are.
Well, whatever it is, we would pay you to run the water to it. We're not gonna run sewer to it, it's that bridge.
Okay, well, I think the next step is just to,
Is that one within your range or not? Because I'm waiting to write a contract on that one.
We can't just say
well,
that,
we
sir.
can't just give you that
Just
answer.
give
You're
you
gonna
the
have to
okay.
get with our attorney
We have
and
to
let
see
it sort it out
a
and see
written
what's going
proposal
on.
from you. We can't just say, okay, you can do it.
What we're telling you right now is we're interested, but we wanna make sure that
Everything's
it's
done.
beneficial for everybody and it's done the way it's supposed to be, which is why we want you to get with our attorney.
I'm glad to.
Okay.
So, then I get this contract.
Ms. Jordan, will you take his contact information or give him yours or?
Well, thank you guys very much, I appreciate it, and, you know, you'll find working with us is pretty simple, you know, we'll do whatever you want. And we're gonna make sure it's done right. We don't wanna have to mess with it. We spend a lot of money, we'll not have to go back and forth. But thank you very much, and
Thank
she's
you.
gonna go ahead and give you my contact information, and if you wouldn't mind, then just get a hold of me. Yeah, you know.
Can come up? Okay.
Thank you guys, have a good evening.
Thank you, you as well.
Mhm.
What is the name
Crystal Chinley?
I'm a,
Oh, you're with him, okay. Miss Boston?
no,
How y'all doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. I didn't come here to pay for anything, first of all, but I did come here on behalf of FCCD, which is Florida Crime Council Delinquency. I work at the Department of Corrections, and we're with Chapter 24. And what we're wanting to do is utilize y'all's community center to do a fundraiser for the surrounding counties. We're with Washington County, so we want to do a fundraiser that would basically include the employees for corrections, probation, and law enforcement for Washington, Holmes, Jackson, and Bay, surrounding counties. And we're just basically wanting to use your community center to have a fundraiser any Saturday in August, but we're asking for y'all to defer the fees.
Now, who is this benefit?
It's actually a community, we work with the communities for law enforcement, anything that goes on in any community, Bay County, Jackson County, Holmes County. We do all kinds of community services. We go out to the nursing homes. We do all kinds of things for the different community services that are in the area. The fundraiser would be for, like I said, the local, it would be for the employees, but we're raising money, they won't pay a fee. It's actually gonna be a cornhole tournament is what we plan to do in the community center, that's all. And they would pay a fee of $40 to pay, and then the money will go back into our chapter so we could send it out to communities and help the elderly, the youth, the delinquents, anything that's helping with the criminal delinquency in the counties.
And what's the name of your organization?
Florida Council on Criminal Delinquency. There you go. You can find us on the website. We're Chapter 24 out of Washington County.
150 plus that.
And you just want it from one day in August?
Yeah, just from 8:30 until, we're not sure what time we'll finish, but we
One
just want to do
Saturday,
that
is that
one
what
Saturday
it
in August. I think there's the 12th, the 16th, and the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th. Any one of those
I don't
Saturdays.
have it with me, the calendar, but there's one of them available, I know. We looked over it
I don't know.
when we talked, but
I don't have a problem with giving, is the rest of the council okay with it?
I'm fine with it.
So just get with Candace and see which Saturday in August she's going.
Thank y'all so very much. We greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome. And Tim Garner.
he isn't here. He's, I don't know how to explain it. Remember he came to y'all and asked about the track and field, and he didn't know a percentage. So what he asked this time is, he said, it's nonprofit, he wants to give the money back to rec. Does he just need to pay a fee to be there, or what? Cause he basically wants to have the track and field day at the track. He wants to give the money back to rec, but he doesn't know how much he's gonna have to pay up front to buy whatever he's gotta buy.
Well, you need to find that out.
So he asked if he could pay a fee.
Why don't he just do it through them?
Do them? Do what? Did you, when I have Wade asked Nikki Burgess, you would have a part of
The
that?
last time that we discussed it with him, part of the money was going to rec and part of it was gonna,
Well, the other part, from what way I understand it, and I might be speaking out of turn, but from what he messaged me, was that it's just to recover whatever he has to pay in whatever equipment they use for that day. So,
I think it needs to be done for the record. It's just me.
I mean,
What if he just-
our question is still the same as it was when he was here, the night that he got up and walked out, he didn't know. I just wanna know that if it's going to benefit rec, then yes. But if it's going, part of it's going in somebody's pocket for profit, I don't,
I'm with Rick, Wayne going to Rick if all proceeds going to Rick. Wayne has got Rick department involved.
Have they come, has he approached you?
He asked me whenever we did the meeting.
I can't hear you.
Sorry. He asked me whenever we did the meeting, he wanted me to propose it, so that's what I did. And then the last I heard is that he talked with Miss Candace and just wanted a flat rate basically to use the track. And then he said, the only things he's told me is that he wants the proceeds to go towards the rec department, but he doesn't know how much proceeds he's gonna make off of it because he hasn't put it out there, and he doesn't know what his equipment cost is gonna be for, like, the things he's gonna have to buy to use it, so.
I don't know,
Yeah,
there's just a lot.
but they're doing it,
No.
what I gathered is they were doing it through the alumni thing.
Just like they're doing the basketball thing, it's a separate. They're doing it.
Like through
I don't know. It's a what was the basketball thing called? alumni athletics or?
Yeah, the tournament that they had for basketball.
Where did that
the-
money go?
Like the softball, they're doing the softball at, that Matt's organizing the softball. So,
But was the basketball
softball's
money
just
for the rec?
I don't know.
See, that's what I'm saying.
The basketball stuff, and I guess I need to get with Chris. From what I heard is that they didn't really make any money off of it. I'm not for sure. I'll get with him more on that. But he was gonna put what he profited off of that into the gym. And I know he has done some updates in the gym. I went in there the other day. And so he has been working on the gym. I just don't know the profit margins.
Yeah, and see-
And I can get
Well, that's the issue here for me is we're letting them use these facilities for supposedly helping rec. We're still paying the light bill.
Yeah, I mean, and that's because they're alumni athletics in the city. I mean, the
And
rec,
see,
we haven't had
I don't
anything to
know
do with
That's what I'm
anything.
saying. I'm not comfortable with that. I wasn't before.
He should have been here tonight. That's why he didn't come. He don't want to confront us again.
And, you know, the basketball thing we did, we gave permission for one time. That he ended up doing it 3 or 4 times, I think. He didn't provide the insurance, but anyway, he didn't come back with us on the dates and all like he was supposed to. Not Tim, but the other gentleman that was doing the basketball stuff.
did he
for
end up
me-
having that second tournament or not?
I don't know. He hasn't come to me about a second tournament, and I don't think
We
there's
turned
been
in
a
some dates to you.
He did, well, it was on Facebook, but I don't know if they had enough people show for
That's when the
another
council didn't approve
tournament.
Well, here's my, this is just my opinion, I don't know how the rest of the council feels about it. But going back to, with that, with anybody that's wanting to do something and say that they're gonna use our facilities and they're gonna give rec so much, and we need to know how much, and where's the rest of it going? Because we're having, with the gym, we have the expense of water and lights. And, you know, it's for rec, that's fine. But if it's, you understand what I'm saying? If it's not
If you guys
just
are
going to
having
rec,
something,
then I have a problem with it. We're just giving out too much
Just
space
give it.
and not getting
Fast talking.
the money for it, in my opinion. And as far as that out there goes, I think he needs to come in here with some answers and instead of going through everybody else. Just some, you know, plain, this is what it is, this is what I wanna do, can I do it or not? Instead of, I'll figure out a percentage, I'll do this, I mean, I get the concept of what he's trying to do, but I'm still not sure that it's for rec. And if it is, why isn't it
And like
going?
Brent said, how come he should go to you guys? If he wants to do something for rec, and then you can bring it to the council and say, well, this is what we want to do. And then you know how much you're getting from rec. But right now, we don't know how, you know, you can say anything that you
It
brought.
just makes more sense to do it that way.
Yeah,
I mean, to me.
because I think he was wanting like a permit cost or something, like just what
Yeah, he
that
just
was,
wanted to
what
say,
he was
can I
looking
pay X
for.
amount of dollars and use it and
No.
then donate the left because he doesn't know how much it's gonna cost him, basically, is what he said. Is that how
That's
you
what I
understood
gathered.
it?
Yeah, and I would assume that it might come back to the rec, but it's, you know, how they feel necessary for it to come back to the rec. Because if the rec puts it on, obviously, then
We get all the first.
we get the, you know, and
Yeah.
But it's not us putting it on, it's their alumni athletics
it's
or
a
something.
business, I guess.
That's my
So-
issue with it.
Sticking to
This is city property. We let rec use it to benefit the community and the children and all that, and we don't have any issue with that. But what's going on, this separate stuff that's going on, is a little sketchy to me because we're not giving a lot of details on it. And obviously y'all aren't giving a lot of details on it. So I, as far as I'm concerned, until we get some details, it's a no for me.
No for me. Thing is, I'm with y'all. If you don't go through the recreation department, that's wrong, we got a recreation. If they ain't involved, I ain't giving you nothing. I know. We're giving enough. Yeah, we paid, the city paid the top.
In times past, the rec director,
I don't mind
Handle
any
everything to
activity that
do
y'all
with-
hold, I'm behind y'all. I rec, I don't care if y'all out there every weekend or at the sports place every weekend. Whatever y'all doing, y'all making money for the kids, I'm all for
the
it.
rec director in the past have even brought in wrestling matches over here. And the city didn't have a problem with it because all of the proceeds went back into the rec department. we want the best for our children, our community, but this outside stuff, I'm done with it. It's a no for me until we get some more answers. It's just been too much of it, and us not knowing what's going on. I think if it's something that y'all want to do, or like y'all are doing
I don't know.
the co-ed ball. I've seen it all on Facebook. It seems to be doing
Officially
good.
talked
That's
to me
going back
about
in
it.
rec.
So,
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said like the co-ed ball that y'all.
Yeah,
are
that
doing.
like
Yeah,
that
that's
100%
all
goes back to the
that's
rec.
on.
Yeah, that's.
You're not gonna hear any of us say anything, because we know that y'all are all money's going to rec.
I wanna say
A lot of
they
ice
need
packs
they
we
need
get.
a load of clay at the softball field. Y'all need a load of clay out there for the
We need sand.
sand. They need that. There's like, he's trying to drag the fields, and I can see it in the pictures on the computer up there. And there's like a little mud hole pond out there that somebody gonna slip and bust everything open, because the
And I
people
was
playing aren't
bring
able.
that up at the workshop.
It had a low spot, right? And there was a bunch of clay that was there, and so I moved that I brought the tractor up there and I moved it. The problem now I face is clay, and it holds water like a piece of plastic, and I can't get the water off of it now. Got the holes filled in, but I can't get the water. So I think it just needs, we got to mix it with sand. I've done a bunch of like research on ball field, infield dirts, and I think most of them are 70 to 80% sand. And we got about 100% clay.
So how much sand are we talking about? Do we know the cost?
I think we need a truckload of sand. It's really all we need. It's just one. The back of the infield is a problem.
So we can do that without permission.
I can call and get, or do I call the county, or do like
No, we
just
just had to-
like Yates or
I
something?
think
I
it's
don't
the
know.
Griffin, I think it's business.
Yeah,
down
it's
there.
Anybody Griffin?
They
Okay.
all
At
of
least 2 or 3 of them.
All of
Just
them's gonna
anybody,
be between
as long
150 and
as-
200 bucks.
I called Trey about the county bringing us some sand, and he said he would get us some sand, but he didn't. He said, I can't guarantee you the quality of sand or what might be in it. I didn't want to risk having a truckload of sand with asphalt in it, being out on the field. So
Just call and find somebody that,
You like to
it's
say
within your budget.
sand?
We just need sand.
Sand.
Sand, just sand.
Where you want it delivered at?
if they can deliver it and just drop it off on that other entrance, like where the high school parking is right there, because it'd be a whole lot easier for me to move it with a tractor from that gate
Right
straight
before
into
the
the
gate.
field. Yep.
Yeah, because it can go right.
Now, if they can go to the bottom of that hill where that gate is, that double gate, just put it right there, and I'll move it all I'll bring the tractor and move it all.
I'll call it as soon as I get out of here and I'll give you a hand.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I was gonna bring that up at the workshop. I'm trying to learn what to do at meetings and what to do at workshops.
Y'all have anything else?
We do,
I need to see about getting a contract.
to host a
Oh.
tournament.
Yeah, the way for us is to bring in money to the rec department is going to be hosting tournaments, travel ball tournaments. We got USSSA wanting to have a tournament here in December. They're going to pay anywhere from $125 to $150 per field.
Each day.
For that's 2 days. We run concessions.
We get all the proceeds from the concessions. You can talk. You do better than me.
So, I really think we could do about $3,000 in the weekend. That would come all the way back to the rec. The only problem is we need a contract. To send to these places to say, hey, this is how much you're going to pay. Just talking with the director that runs this area. Like their latest game will be probably around 5 o'clock, but it will be in December, so we will have to run lights for probably an hour or two. But majority of the games will be run during the day.
So
Not a lot of-
per field pay to rec plus concession?
Yeah, per field plus
And they get the
concessions.
gate.
They'll charge the gate fee is what he told me, and then we could also do like merchandise and stuff, whatever. We just have to provide the lights, tell them how much we want per field, and the grounds crew, he would like the grounds to be done like every 2 or 3 games, I think is what he
Yeah,
said.
that.
But basically, they're just needing a place in this area to bring, I'm gonna say it wrong.
Yeah, they're looking, and they've already asked us the dates. If they have dates in mind, they want to do it December 3rd and 4th, the weekend of the 3rd and the 4th of December. And they're willing to go ahead and sign a contract to come and do it. And it's like I said, it's really a win-win for us because we're not going to lose anything, right? I mean, they're going to pay per field that they use. So if we have to run lights for that hour or two, I mean, they're going to pay for that field per day. We will probably have to use Shady Grove. There's going to be some 13U teams coming, and 200-foot fences. They're going to need a bigger field.
And we would get with Trey, because they have the opportunity to open the concession stand there too. If they want to run that, and we would let him have.
I got a question, is this just one particular group, or y'all, if somebody else approached you about?
Well, essentially what would happen is, right, so we would send them a contract, but we'd go into, so the way these USSSA works now is they have a website, and you get put on like a hosting facility. So if they decide, okay, they want a tournament in Northwest Florida, they look to see who's available to host, and then they'll contact us off that website. Any other like this is South Georgia, but so they would just reach out to us and say, hey, what's your contract, or what's your rates, and we say this is what we charge. That way we have our contract's already done, and we say, hey, this is what it is, and then. But it puts us on that list to be able to host these tournaments.
Well, the reason I ask is because that's been broke previously and it was kind of denied. But like what you're talking about, there are some local ones too that have shown interest. That's why I was asking, would you be willing to that be something?
Yeah,
I think we should.
We want to bring some money into the community.
Yeah.
for these
They do it
kids,
that
so.
way, it's a good move.
And the way
I thought before was having people to work those things, wasn't it? Yeah, if y'all were gonna guarantee y'all be there for them whenever you have them, then y'all work concession stands and all that.
Yeah, because they bring their umpires.
Yeah,
they bring everything.
All their officials, their score, and this group doesn't have to have working scoreboards. There's where we run along with a lot of other issues. With a lot of other like tournaments, they want working scoreboards. We don't have any of those right now, which we're hoping, like, if we can do this one, we could get money, and like there's different things I'm looking into to help with that. But this is just one that had reached out to us personally. I don't honestly know how he got my number, but
I think in the past, and I've seen it in other ballparks, what happens that hurts is when there's an interest in the city, but an interest in the league that's also coming, right? So if one person has got an interest in both sides, it's tough because then you're trying to figure out where the money goes, right? My interest, her interest is in the city, is our rec department.
Yeah,
I don't
think
care.
we should all go through
I don't care if they don't make $1 off their gate fee. I mean, I hope they do good, but you're gonna have to pay up front to have the facility, and then we run all the concessions, and then that way we know if we don't sell much out of concessions, we still did okay. We still made $1,200 or
So,
so.
I think the best thing to do would be to draw up what you're wanting, and let's have Michelle draw it up. Is that okay with the rest of the council?
Do you
So
know
that way-
what you want to include in the contract?
I think these contracts are pretty basic, right?
Basic,
For like a basic contract, when it comes down to price, I
Right.
think just me, I've called around to other places. I think $125 a field is fair for us, right? We're not offering a field that has a working scoreboard at this time. We got some work to do on the fields. I would hope if we could put on a couple of these tournaments, we get working scoreboards, we get some other stuff, we go to like that 150 and we kind of step it up. But to get them initially in at 125, we pretty much beat anybody else around.
Yeah, so you're gonna be bringing in more than one group of tournaments, that's why you're.
we would hope.
Yeah, so and it puts us on the list, and if we have that contract that says it's 125 a field, then
You get concession.
yeah, and we get concessions. But what they look at is what the price they pay per field. And if we're charging $125 and this place next door to us says they charge $165, right, we're most likely going to get them.
Yeah.
And then that brings money in to fix our facilities up, and then we can maybe raise that price at some point because we'll have a little bit better fields, or that's what my goal is.
Our goal is to get working scoreboards and the fix the roof.
You could host state maybe then, when you got.
Well, that was
another thing.
Yeah.
When we were at state, I'm sorry to keep y'all. The PYFA people, they asked us if we would be interested. I mean, not sorry. Dixie Youth asked us if we would be interested in doing like the T-ball one year here, and because our fields are perfect for T-ball.
and AE.
But they have to have working scoreboards. So it's a step process that we just got to.
And they're bringing in $5,000-6,000 for the weekend on these state tournaments.
Just in like concessions. And
All we need is
buildings.
working scoreboards. We can.
I get it, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Are the rest of y'all okay with having the attorney draw up basically just give her the information that you want on there, and it'd be a blanket so you can.
Yeah, we run concessions, and then a price of 100. I think 125. If y'all have an opinion on that, I think 125 is fair. And then that's all I got on it.
And they have to provide their own insurance.
They provide their insurance, their umpires. We don't. We just provide.
Grounds crew.
And we'll rechalk the fields.
Yeah.
Drag and rechalk the field. We'll upkeep the grounds.
And y'all are confident that you got enough people to man a concession and all that. All right. Y'all have anything else? Do we have anything else for them?
Yeah, hey, the date, she don't care.
Okay.
If that comes up.
All right, well, then I guess that we are back to new business. Number one, the accounting update.
Lee's not here this evening, but they're working on that transfer over, and then he said he is available when we set the workshop date, that he can come for that.
Budget.
For budget.
Okay. Number two, set the date for the 4th of July celebration for 2024. It didn't get put out here today, but I got an email that I sent to the attorney and Candace from Power Shows with the, basically it was a contract with the amount, 20% off, when part of it has to be paid. The date was left off because we didn't discuss the date. The 4th is booked, 4th's been booked for a year.
They said they couldn't do the 4th.
Yeah.
Because it's during the weekend.
But, and what we discussed, and I talked with Candace about it, with the parade and with what we do at the Sportsplex and all, Saturdays generally work
Better.
best than during the week.
Oh, no, we can't do that.
And all the dates are during the week except for the 29th of June.
The 29th, I was looking at that. The 29th is the last, 29th of June. That's the last Saturday before the 4th.
Yes. So do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we have it to 29th of June.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor? So June 29th, 2024. Candace, if you'll just let them know. I don't remember her name. It was an assistant that sent me that email, but I forwarded it to both of you.
Oh yeah, I've got, and I printed off the contract right here.
Oh, did you? So
Yeah.
Michelle, you've got it.
Yeah, she's already approved
Okay.
it.
Okay, great. Well, then we're good. Just let them know the date, and they've got you the information on it. And the amount this year, y'all, is 14 and change instead of the 18,124. Candace can tell you probably the exact amount.
Okay, and it's over there.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's
$14,520.
Becky. I know that it's not germane now, and you don't have to even worry about it probably for a while, but I really highly recommend we push the parade even later than what we did this year. Parade at 5, something like that. You had 2 hours where people were coming and going. They were leaving the Sportsplex because there was nothing going on. I I firmly believe the later you push that parade, the more people you're gonna end up with at the Sportsplex, especially in the earlier part of the,
Because if we don't give them that much time, they'll come over there between
You wanna set it for 5?
5 and 5:30. Cause you know, it's daylight a long time now.
Yeah.
and I'm not asking you to make that decision, but because there may be some more thought that goes into it.
And Shannon asked me.
The concern that I would have were I to be a food vendor would be, well, wait a minute, now you're telling me that I'm only gonna have from 5 until it gets dark, where realistically I'm gonna sell food, so that might be the concern, but we had a lot of people come there, and we go to the parade, and we immediately go to the Sportsplex. And that 2-hour period before really anything happens, people were coming, they were milling around, there was nothing, literally nothing to do,
Nobody was open until after 5 at the Sportsplex.
and then they were leaving, so.
And a lot of the vendors was not, because I know
The vendors
that
didn't
they
open
was
until
not set up
After
yet.
5, yeah.
It wasn't even
You
set
actually
up.
had traffic coming in and out
Yeah.
of the Sportsplex proper while people were gathered in there as the food vendors were still setting up. Anyway, just consider it, because I think that if you only have that hour between the time the parade's over and the time the festival starts, you're really gonna be better off.
That was a concern that I heard there too, that I was gonna mention when y'all vote to set a time for the parade. And also I did speak, so like, my brain's not remembering, Valley Worship that just put out the album, they've already agreed to come do that, so we could have the 2 performers, so they could start, whereas we've only got performers right now starting at 7, we could have somebody that started at 6. You know, so that would be 2
Cody said they would
different
do it.
performers,
So they're volunteering to do it.
yeah.
And I'm glad that you do say that, excuse me, but if you have some kind of entertainment, it doesn't matter what it is, a gospel, you could probably get some bluegrass, anything to give the people something to kind of focus on, and you're gonna keep that crowd longer, or they're gonna stay, they're not gonna leave right away.
And there was discussion about other things, like we used to do maybe a watermelon eating contest, or a pie eating contest, or the Dunkin' booth, or just other things, different things set up in different areas that would occupy people.
So you wanna put it on for the workshop, and we'll go ahead and sort it all out?
Mhm.
I mean, we're doing it early, but I'd rather it be bigger and better.
And I do have some ideas to bring to the workshop to help make it better.
The last thing I've got on that is, we talked about this, I think, a couple of years ago, but I don't see any reason why we don't do some kind of a coordinated music track to play along with the fireworks. That was my job for the Panama City Marina for many years when I was with Clear Channel Radio. We did a 22-minute simulcast on all of our 6 radio stations. In your case, we just play it from the sound system on stage, but having patriotic music in time with the music, and in time with the fireworks, and with Pyro, that's what my relationship with them since the 80s was doing exactly that. It doesn't cost you a penny, and all we do is put a soundtrack on that adds to the. Now you won't get that effect if you're over by the high school, but if you're in the immediate vicinity there, that's another layer. We talked about it a couple years ago, and there seemed to be some.
Are you saying that you're in on that for this next year?
I would suggest that we do it, yes, and I would take care of it. Yeah. And there's no cost or anything. It's just it's really nice. It adds a whole lot more to it.
I'm all in for that.
You bored out there.
So put that on for the workshop too, so we make sure we get it all in. Thank you, Mr. Gould.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate that.
Is next year an election year?
We're gonna
Yes.
have a big
Yes.
parade.
Oh, we're gonna have a good one next
Yeah.
year.
Maybe
It's
we'll
gonna
get
be a
that.
big parade.
And we can talk about it at the workshop, but the final piece of that is that you can actually sell advertising within that simulcast. And you can you can make a little bit of money for the rec just simply by making it known. These local politicians will buy them. So anyway, we'll talk about that more later.
Okay. Okay, number 3, set a date for the tree and plaque dedication for the former city council members. And in Candace's notes, it was suggested September 9th, 16th, or 23rd.
September.
So does anybody have a problem with any of those dates, or we need to set a time?
Just that late. Early in the morning.
I think it'll be you usually do that kind of stuff in the morning? Do you?
No, not, what time though?
I said, don't, they usually do that type of, like a dedication in the mornings, you.
10
I
o'clock?
would think 10 o'clock.
Which
On
day?
The ninth, either of those days, 9th, 16th, or the 23rd.
Just say the ninth. Ninth, not the ninth.
16th
16th.
at 10 a.m.
I think I got something on.
Do y'all want me to get some little refreshments or something?
I
for
think that'd be
people
nice.
that come? Okay.
I'll come then.
And Mr. Paul, if I can send, will you advertise that for us too?
Yeah, and if you don't mind, send me that information.
Candace, what time?
10.
I tell them.
September the 16th, no, 10 o'clock.
Okay, number 4, set a date for the budget workshop and budget hearings. Candace's notes on that are,
As soon as possible. I just threw a bunch of dates out there so y'all would have them available. I'm nervous about it all, so quicker. And y'all all know that I procrastinate and do everything at the 11th hour, but not with y'all's money. Like, I need this done.
I don't have an issue with any
Any of the
day.
days, I don't.
Just set the date.
Set it and send y'all, okay.
It's fine with me.
I'll get with Lee then.
Okay. Number 5, discuss on setting new fee amount to rent the community center.
Y'all would ask me to check on that.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody is either between 100 and 150, and they're half the size of our building with no kitchen, most of them. So a lot of people were saying, y'all should be $200. So I don't know if y'all want to do that, but you asked me a couple, 2 or 3 months ago to check it, and that's my report back.
Does that include the refundable fee?
It'll be 250 then.
Then it would be like the 250 plus tax. And it'd be 200 plus tax and then 50 unless y'all want to change your deposit amount.
Still cheap, that's all.
That's new, G.
I'm fine with it.
Nobody
Do we
else
vote on
around,
it?
people get excited when they call and I tell them the price.
Of course.
I mean, they're coming from Alabama to have pageants here.
So is that something we need to vote on?
The amount, yeah.
Okay, so do I have a motion to set, the community center rental up at 200 plus tax and a $50 lane fee? Do I have a motion?
I made a motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. Do I have a motion to approve the president to sign the letter for the sheriff's office that our mayor is unable to sign at the moment?
I make a motion to approve.
I say.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. Number 7, pyro shows, date for fireworks, we've already said. So if nobody has anything further,
I do have something. Candace, do you have an update on Church Street at all? Are they calling for us?
No, and I know it's in the middle of July.
They're calling me.
So,
I'll get with you.
yeah,
I'll get with you.
we're just still waiting on the processes. We're not, I haven't had anything recently. And I meant to contact them today, but, something happened and I didn't.
Well, just whenever you get time, find out what you're.
No, I already figured somebody was gonna be at the office asking me about it by now.
No, they have asked me about it by now.
They like that.
We are though almost, we can go to bid, y'all have already approved it, but we're right at the point of actually going to bid on Yellow Jacket.
Okay.
So y'all may hear some backlash though.
That's
Yellow
what-
Jacket
real
starts getting
backlash, that's what I'm
paid,
saying. That's
yeah.
why, before we get to that point,
has that
we need to have.
been advertised yet?
No, it's actually just at that, we jumped the gun, so to speak, on it, getting that approved that night.
If nobody else has anything, can I have a motion to
No,
adjourn?
I got one thing.
Go ahead.
I got an issue, lady contacted me, when I rode back here
Victor, where you live, back here. I rode all the streets one evening right before dark. And, she sent me pictures and all the streets back there across from, where Henry Shack used to live, Victor, you jumped in the street, completely one side of the street. That whole street block. And all them houses back there, everybody had their vehicle parked as the city right away. Now, in my opinion, I asked Michelle before the meeting, we have ordinance, the city's got ordinance, I know we don't have no code enforcement, the county ain't got a code enforcement, but I don't see why the city can't send that person a letter, tell him he's got 10 days to remove that stuff at the city street, or we gonna call a record and come get it.
I think we discussed that one time before we get in here, and Michelle, didn't you say that we would have to go through the sheriff's department on that, because if we send them a letter and it's not having code enforcement, it could be an issue for the city.
So if it's stuck in your right of way, that's a little different than regular code enforcement.
Cause on any
So
street,
that's what I'm saying, did we call the sheriff's department and ask them to take care of it, or?
The letter in this case would just be a courtesy to the owner.
well, don't put the threatening part on there about we're gonna call them.
No, what I'm saying is, I
Just
know
say,
that
could you please move
the
it?
same issue before where they couldn't even get in their property. It was discussed about sending a letter, and I thought that you said at that point that we couldn't send a letter.
Like I said, there's a difference when we're talking about in a city street or in your right of way versus just something that doesn't, it's junky or otherwise
So
doesn't
we could just-
comply with your code.
That's why I said it, instead of courtesy letter, I don't think that we need to be very harsh at first. Just ask the county council.
That's totally up to you.
And you don't think it'll work?
Like I said,
See, my concern is, and I got pictures, he's moved some of it, too. I don't know if you've noticed, but the thing is, he's changing oil, he's changing everything in the city street, and there's a ditch, like I was explaining to Michelle, not far. And all the rain we get, I don't want stuff to end up, in the creek. But the thing is, it's the city street, you have to go around the junk, and I know the city's got, ordinances, and, I'd give him a courtesy like I was telling Michelle, but the thing is, if I live there, then it wouldn't make it 2 days. Me and him would have it out. Because the thing is, it's not right for the neighborhood that can't get out the driveway. It's one that ain't backed into it. That's why the city's got ordinances. Like I was telling Michelle, we got record services. If you won't move it to me, we got ground to get it moved. All we gotta do is call Nicholas to come get it. And at his expense, if you want to. But nobody else has it, Why should one person run over the city? As simple as that.
Well, are you supposed to be changing oil? He's not working on cars there, is he? Or that's his own vehicle that he's changing oil? Is his personal vehicle that he's changing the oil? He's not doing it for the vehicle.
No, a lot of parts I know you don't. I just rode by there and checked them.
When I was a school bus driver, I did the city route, bus catches trouble going down that road. I had trouble turning up there, I don't know how many times, because his trucks or cars would be halfway in the road, and I would have to get all the way over here and be very careful not to hit the vehicles that he had in the streets. So it's been that way for quite some time.
Michelle, what's the best way to handle it without getting the city in trouble?
I mean, you can remove things that are blocking your streets or blocking your right of way at any time. You don't have to give any notice.
You need to put a sign up. You need to put a sign up like they have, like they put on things down the beach, and they have signs like on vehicles will be towed. You need a
can
tow
put a
sign.
sign up, but you don't have to. That's just a courtesy.
That might get seen faster than mail because you can't get to the mailbox to deliver there. Just throwing that out there.
So what's our best course? Should we send a courtesy letter?
That's up to you all. I don't know this person. I don't know the personality. I don't know if they're cooperative or.
Do y'all want me to call him and tell him?
I don't know the person.
You doing Ken?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know.
It's your job. I don't know.
I believe the school board is
The
called
issues
even more,
moved
because
from-
buses would have an issue.
It's
going
the
down
same
the road.
one that was at the other end of that street you're talking about?
Yeah, the
It's
school
now
board
moved from
called it
there
several times.
back to the corner of,
Same person?
yes.
I mean, is it just junk? Or is it?
It's vehicles. It's the same, we're discussing the same one that's been discussed, that picture's been brought in before about that, was at Pinecrest and Yon, where the owner at Yon could not access her driveway because of the stuff that was blocking the road. That particular person has moved from that house back into a house at the opposite end of the street, and so the vehicles have come with. But Candace could probably talk some sense into it.
Well, we
I don't
can't-
know if he'll do anything, but I'll talk to him. I don't know that he'll be
I wouldn't want to lose my meeting.
agreeable to it. I mean, but I will, if I make contact and talk to him, then I can straight up tell him, you know.
And just put something on record that you did talk to him.
She
Just in
has
case
notified
there's
the sheriff's office, and they ain't done nothing, but the next step, she was waiting on this meeting. We'll get called Channel 7, Channel 13. I'm trying to keep you seated, that's all you need. But the thing is, my problem, like I told the sheriff, we got rights, the city does. He's in the city street completely. You have to go around there for stuff to, get on the road, so. We need to move it off the city street. But that's all I have.
Does anybody else have anything? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
I say,
discussion? All in favor? Adjourn.
hey, Jason.